Hi, I'm Rick Bush with T&D TV, and I'm here with Phil Spillane, Vice President of Marketing, and Keith Lindsey, President, both with Lindsey Manufacturing Company. And today, our topic is the role of advanced technologies in the power delivery marketplace. So let's start with Keith. Keith, I've known you for 30 years, and yeah, we've known each other too long. And you're a quirky dude, we all know that, but you're also quite an innovator, and you have brought a lot of products and services into the marketplace. And I'm curious, in the span of time that you've been working in the business, are you seeing utilities quicker to invest in innovation than they have in the past?
I'd say today, yes. Probably the main reason that's driving this is they have to do more with less right now. They have to do more to satisfy their customers, to satisfy regulators, and they got to do it with less people, less budget. And so that's a perfect storm of everything coming together where they need to adopt new technologies and innovation.
Okay, and back in the day, I had the luxury of testing some of your sensors and devices and things like that. And the last device I think that you brought to the marketplace is this dynamic real-time conductor sag monitor. What's the main purpose for this device? What would a utility want to do with that?
Well, a lot of the, if you will, experts say that probably most transmission lines can get another 10 to 20% of capacity out of their lines if they rate their lines dynamically instead of with the normal static ratings that people are using today. And this is quite a bit. What we've found and what we've instrumented is a lot of the EHV lines have a lot of capacity in them. They're not constraining the system. It's the lower voltage lines, the 230, 220 kV lines that are constraining the 500. And so what probably needs to be done in a lot of cases are these lower voltage lines need to be instrumented to determine their real-time rating tomorrow so that tomorrow we can put more power through the 500 kV lines, which are the real superhighways. They're the most efficient thing. So
when you're trying to get the more capacity on the underbuild effectively in the 230, do you put one device on per line, or are there critical places you put these? How do you decide where to put these monitors?
Well, most utilities know where their critical spans are today. They have LiDAR'd their lines for NERC, and they know which spans are probably constraining them.
Okay.
We've also working with one of our partners, MWH Global, and they've developed some software that you can put the transmission line in there, apply various environmental conditions, loading conditions, and they can pick out for you the critical spans.
Okay.
And this is where you'd put the monitors, and those are the ones you really want to know about.
So I would have thought that would have been a little more tough than it is. Now, Phil, when you call on a utility as in marketing here, do you find that the utilities have maintained a level of expertise so you can just start chatting on a technical topic, or do you find that you almost have to behave as a consultant?
Well, it's interesting. There's a lot of new hires, very, very intelligent people, very, very technically up to snuff on everything. So that's pretty understandable. But we find ourselves in a consultative role because we've been at this a while, that we try to help them not make the mistakes that have been made before. So in lessons learned or in know-how, we've been around a while, and we're respected. You know, vendors of quality vendors who've been around a long time. Lindsey, 60 years in the business.
Oh, yeah.
We're respected and listened to, and so there's very bright people, well-educated, and they seem to be well-balanced in their approach, I think.
But you're adding a little street smarts, maybe.
Well, yeah, that's what we bring to the party. That's our expertise.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, now back to Keith. Keith, I know you're active in both IEEE and CGRE technical committees. So looking at a bigger picture, what are the big issues the utilities are facing? And I know both organizations are worldwide when it comes to maintaining our power grid.
I'd say one of the big issues right now is loss of technical expertise or transferring that technical expertise to a new group of engineering and operating people if they can even find them. But again, it goes back to this thing I mentioned right up front. It's having to do more with less. What we see, for example, on distribution circuits, we make a lot of current and voltage monitoring insulators for distribution automation. And a lot of people are using those right now for smart switching schemes to get customers back on service quickly, or right now, a big payback is volt-var control. And,
yeah, we've done quite a number of articles on that topic.
oh yes, and that's a big payback, and that's one of those things on doing more with less. They have to, this can help them on the cash flow side of it, of the issue. In transmission, the big thing there is knowing what's going on out on these transmission lines, and monitors out on the transmission lines could be a big help in the maintenance aspect. Just scheduling maintenance is a big problem right now with utilities. They might schedule maintenance, but then they won't let the crew really have the line that day because of conditions. But if you really knew what your lines could take out there, if you knew the real loading that you could put on those lines, then you'd have confidence in scheduling maintenance, being in an N-1 condition, and going ahead with it. And this is where the TLM could help you out immediately today in doing this.
Okay, interesting. Well, I'm glad to announce that both Keith and Phil recently participated in a Burns and McDonnell moderated webinar in this series on advanced technologies that I mentioned before. And you can gain additional detail on this SAG monitor and other devices by going to our T&D World homepage. And I'd like to thank you, Keith Lindsey, and you, Phil Spillane, for joining us in this interview on technology innovation today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rick.